Good evening, everybody, and what a great evening it is. 31-0, the biggest margin of victory by a Notre Dame team ever against the University of Michigan. 0 turnovers, 1 penalty. That's almost the second team in history to go in a game without a turnover or a penalty. All around terrific performance. Michigan actually had more yardage than Notre Dame, 289 to 280, but field position and a 4-0 turnover advantage for Notre Dame, huge. Andrew, what did you take from this game?
Well, like you mentioned, it was a very clean effort from the Irish tonight. In the red zone, they took advantage of every opportunity. Through 2 weeks now, they've scored 8 touchdowns and 2 field goals in the attempts in the red zone. So that's obviously a pretty big change in the past 4 years. But you know, it was just between that and the penalties and Everett Golson making plays and the emergence, I think, of 2 young wide receivers or maybe not young in the Carlisle situation, but yeah, exactly. But between him and Will Fuller, it's more and more playmakers are emerging on Notre Dame's offense.
Douglas, one of the things we talked about was Michigan in this series had really toasted Notre Dame by a couple of times, 38-0.
And tonight almost was 38.
Exactly, at 47-21 when Notre Dame was ranked number 2 right here on the home field. And Catania talked about, you know what, Notre Dame has never really had that one butt-kicking game against Michigan. This was their last chance. This team from the outset seems so well prepared.
Well, I don't know if I'll agree with outset because they were slow in the first quarter. They had 2 punts, I believe, in that first quarter.
Just like against Rice.
Right. But once they got going, you couldn't stop them. And although it was 2 penalties, Lou, because the personal foul at the end of the game that negated the final.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Which would have made it the inevitable 38-0. But once they got rolling, they were finally able to put somebody away, which has been an issue for Notre Dame for how many years? And they had the chance, and they took it at the end of the first half to really put Michigan behind the 8 ball, that 21-0 lead.
You know, this is the second straight week where development's right at the end of the half. Last week you're leading Rice 21-10. Still, you know, pretty close game at that point.
Could go either way.
Everett launches the rocket with 5 seconds to go. To CJ Prosise makes it 28-10, a 3-score game. You saw the same thing here. It's 14-0, and all of a sudden Notre Dame just quickly, with 1:24 left, no timeouts, right at the end of the half, still 34 seconds left. When you get that 3-score possession, 21-0, as opposed to 14-0, I think that can have a demoralizing effect, and it also kind of took Michigan probably out of its plan of just running more.
And we talked about this a bit this week. Notre Dame's had opportunities in recent years to bury Michigan. A 10-point lead, 14-point lead. You know, 2009 comes to mind, 2011 comes to mind. Even in 2012 when they had those 5 straight interceptions for us on 5 straight plays, they only scored 13 points in that game. So tonight, you know, they just kept scoring the touchdowns. So all of a sudden you look up at the scoreboard and it's 28-0 and you realize, well, they're probably safe here.
You know, that 2012 12-win team was so defensive dominated. I mean, everything was just revolved around there, and it's like offense, just stay out of the way, don't blow it. Special teams, just, you know, damage control and everything. I don't know if this team is going to have a better record than the one in 2012.
It's a more complete team.
But collectively, it might be a better team overall.
And today, everybody's going to look at the offense and the multiple scores, and those are the highlights for a reason. But I don't want us to overlook the defense because they did shut out Michigan for the first time Michigan's been shut out in 30 years. And that Michigan might not be a complete team, but when you're going up against Devin Gardner and Devin Funchess, they're usually going to score. And for this defense, including 2 young safeties and experienced safeties, to put forth that performance, don't let the offense completely overshadow.
All right. I don't know if there's much more to say other than 2-0 feels awful good at this point, especially with Purdue and Syracuse coming up and a bye week in between there. So it looks like a very, very good September coming up here for Notre Dame. That'll do it for this edition. Stay tuned because it's going to be an exciting season.